Okay, I have just finished doing a service on my Kubota M4700. I change the oil on this every 100 hours, and then I just went through and greased all the fittings on the front end loader and the various other areas that need to be greased on a regular basis. This is actually a 1999 model Kubota. I bought it used with 150 hours on it, and I bought it in 2001. So I have had it for right at 18 years now, and it has been a great tractor. I have no complaints. It came with the front end loader on it, the LA 1001 front end loader. That is a detachable front end loader. It's not quite as easy as some of the newer tractors in order to get it off, but you can see right there, you would take those bolts off, or that assembly off, and it has some landing gear on it, which you can actually lower, and then you just manipulate the bucket, and it will actually lift this whole stanchion right off, and then you just back out from underneath it. And when you get backed out just enough, it has some hydraulic cables on the other side that have quick disconnects on it. I have had it off several times during the 17 years that I've owned it, but I usually just keep it on there. Mainly, even though it has a little bit more weight, mainly, just when you're going around the property and doing different things with it. If you come across a tree that's down, or a branch or something that's in your way, you can just use the bucket. And so I keep it on there all the time. I find that it has more use for that. But anyway, I've actually thought about possibly getting an enclosed cab. Here in Georgia in the summertime, man, I got to tell you, when it's 95 degrees outside and it's 9,500% humidity, it gets really, really warm. And so I've thought over the last couple years about possibly getting an enclosed cab. What I did instead was to kind of put me off a little bit. I'm going to use my light here to kind of show you what I'm doing. But what I did instead was I put a fan on my roof right there. And I have it hooked up to my light assembly. And so all I have to do is just turn my lights on. And I have a fan that comes on, and that thing really blows a lot of air. And so that's kind of what I've done, to kind of put me off a little bit on buying an enclosed cab tractor. But these fans right here are actually made for golf carts. And I have a golf cart that is over there that we used for a lot of years before we finally bought the Honda Pioneer, which you can see back there a little bit further. But we had this golf cart for a long time. And so, of course, I've bought all kinds of things for it over the years, and I've lifted it and got a cab enclosure for it and those kind of things. So I get catalogs in from the company that I have bought golf cart parts from in the past. And I noticed in there one time that they had these fans. And I thought, I wonder if I can use that on my tractor. And then come to find out after a little bit of research that you can. This would actually be the one, being that a tractor is a 12-volt system. And I actually found out that a 36-volt golf cart fan will work great on a 12-volt tractor. And so you can see kind of what I did is I hooked it directly into, there we go. I hooked it directly into my light switch for the tractor. So all I have to do is turn my lights on and my fan comes on. So my neighbor was asking me one day, they said, do you know that you're running around out there in the pasture with your lights on your tractor? And I said, yes. And I told him why. But anyway, that's one of the modifications that I did to it. Other than that, this has been a great tractor. And so part of the service that I just did here was to go through and grease all of the various fittings around here. The front end loader itself has multiple fittings on it, and then the tractor has a lot of fittings around it as well. So that is my service on my M4700. And once again, I'll go ahead and plug this DeWalt cordless grease gun. This thing is awesome. If you have a farm or if you have equipment and you have a lot of different things that you are needing to grease on a regular basis, one of these cordless grease guns is great. And then I also have the lock and lube fitting that I put on the end of it, which makes it even better. So, when you have equipment around, you have lawnmowers, you have skid steers, you have tractors and cars, trucks, trailers, all kinds of different equipment that all needs to be greased. If you're going to be taking care of it properly, then that's a good addition. Okay, so that is the service on my tractor. My intentions were to put my box scrape on and get out here and do some work. But Mother Nature had a different idea for me today. So we are getting a good bit of water. Actually, it's dropping. So I'm not going to come out here and try to scrape the driveway and fix some little things. I'm going to wait for this water to kind of subside. And you can see what I got going on here is all that water just makes its way down to my lake. We've had a lot of rain here in Georgia over the last several weeks, and it has done wonders for our lake. It has brought it up considerably. Okay, so anyway, my job is done here as far as the tractor service is concerned. I'll be doing some more service here on the skid steer over the winter months, and then I also need to service my Hustler lawnmower and also my John Deere. I have a drive belt repair that I need to do on that John Deere. All right, so anyway,